Marshfield Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for September 12th, 2023. This is a hybrid meeting, and if you're dialing on a phone, please use *6 to mute and unmute yourself. MCTV is taping this, just so everyone's aware. And oh, JJ, you out there?
I'm here.
Okay, just I'm going to do a roll call since you're Zooming. Go
Larry
ahead.
Keane here.
Brian Sullivan here.
Brian Murphy here.
Jean Lee here.
Square Hands here.
All right, we're going to start with, I'm going to take out of order Meadowview, the shed. Are you ready? Yeah. Hi. Oh, you can sit down at the seat. What do you want? Yeah, you just have to sit at this, yeah, and speak into the microphone. So Nancy can hear you. I don't have to read this in because it's already.
Nope, already read.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're trying to build a shed on
Yep.
the side of our property. We did come here
Right.
last month, and you said we needed to speak with Andrew.
Yep.
And we spoke with Andrew, and he looked at the plot plan, and he seemed to be okay with it.
Correct. That's what we understand from Andrew.
Okay,
So.
so I don't know, where do we go from here?
That's, you just had to state what's going on, and then we should be all set. But, so Andrew, you're okay with the shed?
So we went, they came in, they actually brought the full, scaled plan. So we had the actual paper scaled plan in my office. So we were able to scale all these setbacks. So this is the existing, one for the proposed addition. So we were able to determine that they had 8 on the side, 3 in the rear, and 5 from the existing house. So those are the existing conditions here. So then this is what they're proposing now. And so these are the changes. The only difference is 5 from the side. So they're going to maintain the 3 in the back, maintain the 5 from the house, but they want to get a little bit closer than they already are. They're already not conforming on that side, so they're asking for a special permit to extend it, but they don't want to get any closer than 5 feet to the property line. So that's what they're looking to do, is to change that location of the shed from there to there.
Okay.
But we were able to do that with the, once we had the full plan. And then part of this, and they understand that, will be, once they finish all this, they'll do a final as-built that'll capture the addition that they did under the previous special permit and this if they got it.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, do we have any questions from the board on this?
I'm all set.
Any questions from the audience? Seeing that there's none, I'm going to move that we close 2363, 158 Meadowview Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
I was not at the initial hearing, so I'll abstain.
Okay, Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Square Hands here.
And so I'm going to move that the board vote to grant the petitioner's request for a special permit subject to the conditions, a building permit, and an as-built to replace the existing shed with a 10-foot by 16-foot shed on the property located at 158 Meadow Street, no closer to the lot lines, and to be confirmed with a surveyed plan. Since the proposed work shown on the plans and described in the filings meets the criteria set forth in section 305-1012 of the zoning bylaw. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Square Hands here.
Thank you. You're all set. All right, now we'll go to 2368, James and Lisa Bonacia. The petitioners are seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1010 and 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to raise the existing 31-foot by 26-foot two-story non-conforming home and construct a new 36-foot by 26-foot, 2.5-story dwelling on the existing concrete pier foundation and existing beams on the property located at 233 Foster Ave, which is further identified on the assessor's map as being on parcel L10, 1510, and is located in the R3 zoning district. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dick Rockwood, and this is Carly Tobias, my project manager from Rockwood Design, and we did the architectural work for Mr. Bonacia. We were already approved at zoning quite some time ago. I don't have the exact date here, probably 8 or 9 months ago, I think, to do this project. I think what we did is we applied to do it's a two-story house existing. We applied for another rebuilding over the front porch and adding a third floor, the half-story. What we're proposing to do now, the plans have not changed, but they want to take it down to the first floor. So Andrew felt that that was a change in what we were proposing and thought that it should come back in front of the board for that reason. The drawings really haven't changed. It's just that we're taking down more of the structure than I had requested. Because we started out thinking we'd save the first floor and probably the second floor deck and rebuild from there up. We didn't get that specific at the board, but we just want to make sure that that's my interpretation, if Andrew has anything to add into that, but that's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
Sorry to interrupt it.
Yeah.
It was, the description of the work was really extending the first floor, an addition, a porch, an extension to the rear. So it really didn't, this is a complete reconstruction of everything but the foundation elements of the building, so it's a little bit different in intensity, and that's why we felt that it should have the attention, of the board, and it should have the correct wording, of the special permit. So that's why we asked them to come back.
Andrew, how's the height?
So the height still shouldn't change. It's still a 2.5-story. The height is all right. It's still under I think the 35 was even to the ridge. They still didn't even go to the ridge with 35 feet.
Thank you.
Even with it being elevated 4 feet off the ground.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
So pretty much all they're doing is.
One of the considerations that came into play also with total reconstruction was, a footing. This is a coastal dune, so that played into it. And then with the proximity to the lot line, as you know, now we have to kind of change a little bit of the design with having a firewall on that side. But so there are a couple of new considerations, but other than that, it's the same house really that they were planning on ending up with, but it'll be completely new materials.
Well, that's an improvement to public safety. And it's an attractive structure, so.
Thank you.
Pretty much all you're doing is you're raising more of the structure than you would.
Yes, we are. Yeah, than what we initially
Yeah.
started out to be.
The architectural is pretty much all the same.
Correct, correct. The whole volume.
Sounds good. Making the board.
So anything else?
No, I'm good.
Anyone from the audience? All right. Is anyone online? I think it's just town hall and those two. Sorry. So I'm going to move that we close 2368 James and Lisa Bonacia, 233 Foster Ave. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye?
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Okay. So does everyone agree? Andrew, can you put up the 1 to 10 on there? I mean, we have it on our cut sheets here, so the board find all of the following general conditions to be fulfilled, 1 through 10.
I do.
We have it. I do? Okay.
I do.
Thank you, Andrew. So now I'm going to move that the board grant the petitioner's request for a special permit, subject to the conditions. This project will require a building permit, a certified as-built conforming to the requirements of 305-10C, and a certificate of occupancy. Based on the findings that the applicant's proposal to raise the existing 31 by 26-foot two-story non-conforming house and construct a new 36 by 26-foot 2.5-story dwelling on the existing concrete pier foundation and existing beams on the property located at 233 Foster Ave, as shown on an updated permit set of plans by Rockwood Design, dated 6/22/23, 9 pages, meets the special permit criteria of Section 1012 of the bylaw. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Rob Ramsey, aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we have 2369 Cheryl Toner. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to construct a 30-foot-long dormer on the right side of the dwelling to mimic the existing dormer on the left side of the property located at 52 Richard Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel K120802 and is located in the R3 zoning district. Name and address for the record.
Good evening. Cheryl Toner, 52 Richard Street, Marshfield, Mass. I am the owner. We are seeking to put a 30-foot dormer to replicate the same dormer that's on the other side of the house. We're not changing the footprint of the house at all, just adding the dormer. It will be on the driveway side. This is my builder, Dave Gilberto. And I don't know if you have any other questions.
I think it's pretty straightforward. Andrew, you're comfortable with this?
Yep, I've met with Cheryl and Dave a bunch of times. We've worked out a bunch of things and totally, I think they've done a good job getting to this point.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the audience? Any questions from the board?
I am good.
Any questions online? Seeing that there are none, I move that we close 2369 Cheryl Toner, 52 Richard Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane,
Oh,
aye.
sorry, I got to read the, I read that. Oh, I closed it. Okay, yep. Go ahead, Tom.
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Rob Ramsey, aye.
All right, I move that the board vote to grant the petitioner's request for the special permit, subject to the conditions. This project will require a building permit, a final elevation certificate, and a certificate of occupancy. Based on the finding that the proposal to construct a 30-foot-long dormer on the right side of the dwelling to mimic the existing dormer on the left side of the property located at 52 Richard Street, as shown on the location plan by Stembeck and Taylor, Richard Savant, PLS, dated 8/5/21, and proposal renovation plans by Timothy Sheehan, Architect, 5/7/21. 6 pages, meets the special permit criteria of Section 1012 of the bylaw, and also the board agrees, shall find that the following general conditions be fulfilled. Numbers 1 through 10, does everyone agree?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Assuming Larry does, and so does JJ. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Rob Ramsey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too. 2370, 1121 South River Street, LLC. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to construct a new 40-foot by 4-inch by 30-foot dwelling unit on the footprint of the demolished barn structure with a 2-car garage below and a 6'6" by 26-foot front porch and a 32-foot 3 by 6-foot rear porch on the property located at 1121 South River Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel 1120114 and is located in the R1 zoning district. Name and address for the record.
Matthew Dacey, I'm the manager, principal, 1121 South River Street LLC, and my address 54 Crooked Lane in Duxbury. And my son Tom,
Go
can
ahead.
build this. It's going. So we met with Andrew, discussed the project, and the application is, I think, is fairly self-explanatory.
Seems to be.
And we were just hoping to get the approval. We were granted a demolition permit.
Yep, and we have a reoccupation certificate for the property
hear
as
you.
well.
Oh, could you speak up?
We have a demo permit for the existing barn structure, as well as we have a reoccupation certificate for the existing structure for the project from the town.
Andrew, do you have anything to add?
Not more than my comments, no.
Okay. Anything from the board?
Well, there's some question about whether this is a two-family or
Yeah, but we already decided that.
a house that's got an accessory structure.
Did you read the decision?
I did, and I don't see what the question is.
Oh, no, I think it's because Karen didn't work her then. She
Oh.
looked at the old card, she didn't look at the decision.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I was scratching my head.
Well,
saying,
it's clear we made that decision back in
okay.
January of
okay.
20, so it didn't get contested, so it's
I just
stands. Yeah.
Just
No, I
kind
wanted
of
to.
flush that out into
Yeah.
the open.
All right. Do we have anything from the audience on this? Online audience? Seeing that there isn't, on a move to close 2370 1121 South River Street LLC. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
So I'm going to move that the board grant the petitioner's request for a special permit, subject to the conditions. This project will require a building permit, a final as-built, conforming to the requirements of 305-1010C, and a certificate of occupancy. Based on the finding that the proposal to construct a new 40-foot by 4-inch by 30-foot dwelling on the footprint of the demolished barn structure with two-car garage below and a 6-foot 6 by 26-foot front porch and a 32 by 32-foot 3-inch by 6-foot rear porch on the property located at 1121 South River Street, as shown on the architectural rendering by Champion Builders Incorporated, dated, I can't read the date, but 17 pages, meets the special permit criteria of 1012 of the bylaw. The board finds that all of the following conditions, 1 to 10, to be fulfilled. I'm in agreement.
I do.
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
2371 Brad Nesbitt. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to raise the existing 24.5 foot by 38 dwelling approximately 4 feet to elevate it on a new poured foundation in the same location on the property located at 116 Beach Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel M050561. It's located in the R3 zoning district. Name and address for the record.
So I'm Brad Nisbet at 116 Beach Street, and my wife and I own this property, and we're looking to elevate the existing home as is. So it would entail elevating the house in place, removing the cinder block foundation that's there, pouring a new foundation, and elevating the home on the same footprint.
Okay. Andrew, do you want to add anything?
No, they've gone through all the floodplain permitting, and they're doing Concom tomorrow, so they're ready to go. These are the last steps for them.
Okay. Anything from the board?
I am good.
I have no questions.
None.
No questions.
Grover?
All set.
Anything from the audience? Seeing that there's none, I'm going to move that we close 2371 Brad Nesbitt, 116 Beach Street. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
And now I'm going to move that the board vote to grant the petitioner's request for a special permit, subject to the conditions. This will require a building permit, compliance with the floodplain bylaw, and a certificate of occupancy. An as-built will be collected through the Conservation Certificate of Compliance. Based on a finding that the proposal to raise the existing 24.5 times 38-foot dwelling approximately 4 feet to elevate it onto the new poured foundation in the same location on the property located at 116 Beach Street, as shown on the survey plan by Moran Surveying Incorporated, dated July 2023, and described in a structural engineering report by VPOP Incorporated, Victor Pop, PE, dated August 14, 2023, meets the special permit criteria of Section 1012 of the bylaw, and also the board find all the following general conditions to be fulfilled, 1 through 10. Do we all agree to that?
I do.
I do.
And do I have a second?
Yes.
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Thank you. Now we have 2372 Thomas Fitzgerald. Petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to construct an 18-foot 9 by 17-foot 9 addition by enclosing the existing deck on the property located at 65 Nevada Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel K10-1005 and is located in the R3 zoning district. Name and address for the record.
Brian Marcella, 184 Foster Ave.
Go ahead.
Just self-explanatory. It's an existing deck. We're building a structure over it with the roof, closing it in with some sliders for screens. Just making it a sunroom. It's Andrew took a look at it. Looks okay. Dick Rockwood drew the plans for me. We have a plot plan on order. It's just timing. It'll be done at the as-built.
Okay, sounds pretty straightforward. Any
Yeah.
questions from the board?
I do not.
I have no questions.
No questions.
Andrew, do you have anything to add beyond your comments?
No,
Okay,
we did, a site visit to verify existing conditions.
thank you. Grover, nothing, I'm assuming, so I'm going to move that we close 2372 Thomas Fitzgerald, 65 Nevada Street. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
And I'm going to move that the board vote to grant the petitioner's request for a special permit, subject to the conditions. This will require a building permit, as-built, and a certificate of occupancy. Based on a finding that the proposal to construct an 18-foot 9 by 17-foot 9 addition by enclosing the existing deck on the property located at 65 Nevada Street, as shown on the final set of design plans by Dick Rockwood of Rockwood Design Incorporated, dated 7/10/23, 9 pages, meets the special permit criteria of the section 1012 of the bylaw. Do I have a second? The board finds that all the following general conditions are fulfilled, 1 through 10. Do we all agree to that?
Agree. I do.
I do.
I do.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
2373 Kenneth and Laura Lawson. The petitioners are seeking to modify the width of their previously approved docked case 2206 from 2 feet to 2.83 feet in accordance with the 305-1011 and 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code on the property located at 62 Marginal Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel M0604, as located in the R3 zoning district. This applicant, go ahead. Name and address for the record.
62 Marginal Street, Marshfield.
So go ahead.
We are just trying to see if we can get a special permit to change the original width, which we realized when we saw it was like impossible to walk on because it was so narrow, to something that's a little safer. So basically what you said from 24 inches to...
The original walkway is 24 inches wide, and in reality, looking at it, it's quite narrow. So we're trying to go to 34 inches wide.
Yeah.
And so we came back to the Conservation Commission here, sent us to DEP. DEP wanted a letter from Conservation, so they seem to be on board as long as we hit all our right people here. In so doing, we're going with I think the newer recommendations for the town are to get the height to be 1.5 to 1. So in so doing, we would make it 1.5 to 1, which is on the plan.
Seems pretty straightforward to me. It's just a dock.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. You sure that's wide enough?
You don't want to go to 3 feet, or
Why not just so big?
go big, and then
so
you
your
can.
carpenter has to make fewer cuts.
It works out that they don't have to change anything at 34 inches.
Oh, okay.
That's why that versus 36. I'm with you on that.
Oh, why do they get 2.83 there?
That's because that's intense.
sorry?
It's intense.
Oh, okay.
It's not in inches.
Okay.
It was our error in the beginning we've never done a walkway before. How do we know? You actually get there and look at 24 inches and go,
Walk sideways.
500.
when I need my walker, I'm going to fall off. So
At that width, you don't have to change anything, just this.
everything works on the lumber and everything else that we do. So it works out. If it goes a little bit bigger, then you'd have to put like a whole nother row in of lumber.
Oh, I see.
So
Oh,
I think there was a reasoning for that. At least that's what I'm led to believe. Seemed to make sense.
That's interesting. All right, so any questions from the audience? Board?
I have none.
Andrew, do you have anything?
No, they're just doing their due diligence to get all the correct documentation to make this modification, and we're just probably the easiest step along the way.
Yeah, we're not the imposition.
All right, so,
A lot of fun.
Move to close.
yeah, move to close 2373 Kenneth and Laura Lawson, 62 Marginal Street. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Now, do you want to read the variance things, Brian, since I have no information from Bob? You can fudge it. Your legal mind to work. He didn't give us anything.
Just say that you agreed with the findings.
Oh, all right. We agree with
10-11.
we agree with the findings of 1011.
305, 1011, and
And you can incorporate the findings you made from your prior.
That's what I was going to say. We're going to incorporate the findings from the previous decision of January 25, 2022, case number 2206. And that should do it, right? Do I have a second?
second,
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, congratulations.
Easy.
Thank
Now,
you.
Who's next? Oh, we're already at Health Circle. 2366 Health Circle Incorporated.
Good to see you again, gentlemen.
I was not able to go to the site visit, I had a conflict.
Oh, I took a mental note. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I was joking. I said I took a mental note.
But I'm familiar with the area, I'm familiar with the building.
It was pretty informative. I'm glad you had us there.
What is it?
It was pretty informative. I'm glad you had us
Yeah, and as we said to the police, fire, anybody can come out anytime, check it out, see how we're progressing, see how it's working.
All right, so go ahead.
All right, Paul Jacobson with Health Circle. You guys know Mike Westort with Health Circle.
We also have Mario Romano on.
We also have Val Romano on. He's our counsel.
Okay.
So it's
Not shy.
I guess he's not. I guess he's not. The building is located at 120 Enterprise Drive, just for the record. This is a new filing. Our existing one had expired, so we're refiling, and for the most part, it's the same filing that's there, except we're cleaning up a few things where the front door. There were some issues on where our front door would be. So in this new filing, the front door is going to be where the front door currently is. For those of you who were on the previous board, our front door for the marijuana establishment was on the side versus the office front entrance was in the front. So we're making them as one front entrance to the building. That coincides with the building permit that has been issued. There's also between the two properties, which we abut 100 Enterprise Drive, which is Stellwagen, there is a wooden guardrail that is being put in within the buffer between the two, and it is fully landscaped according to the drawing. Other than restriping on the exterior, the guardrail, and the landscaping, there is no exterior work being done to the structure of the building at all. We are adding exterior cameras, which we're required to do from the CCC. But other than that, there is no exterior work being done to the building. Previously, the overhead door was being taken out, the new entrance was being put in, restriping. That is not the case at this point. The door is staying where it is. We are going to restripe the lot, obviously, but handicap parking spaces are staying as is. What else do we have?
No, I think that was it. I think we gave you guys an updated, so Nancy had asked just like, is there anything different between the old one and the new one? The difference was we're keeping the door where it is, so less work, and then the garbage in the dumpster.
Yeah, the dumpster was placed on the inside of the building. So during this filing, we're going to keep the dumpster on the exterior of the building just for cleanliness and rodent control and things of that nature versus inside the building from that. Previously, when we first came a couple of years ago, traffic was an issue. We have updated our traffic study for this new filing, which is included in the packet that you have. So,
The trip counts went down.
Yeah, the trip counts actually went down from this one versus the previous one, so.
And my guess is 2 years from now, when we do another one, they'll come down again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't, the area, it's in an industrial park. It's designed to handle traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got a traffic control right up the street. Fine, in my opinion.
The hours of operation, we're going to stay consistent with the other establishment within town. So our hours will be consistent with them, and that is reflected in our filing. I think during the week it's 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. And then I think on Sundays is 12 to 7, I believe is the hours.
Do you find that you've got customers at 8 a.m.?
So we're open at 9 in Rockland. There'll be people in the parking lot at like 8:50, 8:45, just waiting for us to open.
No kidding.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll do the analysis. Like, if we didn't open at 9 originally in Rockland, but then at 10 it was busy, so we're like, okay, can we get it? And then at the beginning it was slow, but then the people count picked up, so it ended up being worth being open that hour. Do the same thing again. If we don't have people there, I don't want to staff people and pay them.
Yeah.
And most of the people that work for me aren't going to want to get there at 7 in the morning anyway, so let's be honest, you know? But it's more a function of just people count whether it makes sense to do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just for clarity for the public that's watching, you're pretty much, the plan that you have presented here has already been approved.
Yes.
2 years ago, the filing just expired, so you're resubmitting. The only real changes I'm seeing here is when you did the walkthrough of your property is interior design, pretty much an interior layout. The exterior, instead of being the main door being on the side of the building, it's gonna be on the front of your building.
Correct.
So that's really the only change you have here compared to what.
And by moving the front entrance, Larry, over to the front now, obviously, that's why the interior changed a little
Yeah.
bit for our layout.
And just the flow, as you were pointing out, as being in business for a while now, you're adapting to what your needs are.
Right.
You're building your cage and your
Right.
safe area inside, so you're making those type of plans. But everything you have here was already been approved.
Yes, correct.
You updated the traffic study, which is great. I really don't see, we pretty much did quite an extensive, I remember going over this last time.
Right.
It was a lot.
It was almost 2 years.
Yeah, it was a lot presented, and I don't see as anything really changing here.
No.
I have no questions.
I don't have any questions.
Is Bob there?
I don't, he's on 2 meetings. Bob, are you there or are you on another meeting?
No, I'm still here.
All right. So we have the, normally would they write the decision and then we would, have you look it over?
Well, you already have a decision for this use,
Okay,
so you could take the existing decision that you have, reissue it, subject to the updated plan set, and any new conditions that you want.
I want to update the hours to reflect the hours of, that they've requested.
The change in the entrance,
Yes, the dumpster.
yep.
Would you say you're looking for hours? What is the other establishment?
We just did, whatever was just recently approved for South Shore
Yeah, I'm not.
was basically what we did. Hold on, I can find it.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yep,
but,
hold on.
My guess is somebody was keeping
I
track.
think I saved the decision to their file, so.
Okay.
It's 8 to 9, Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 8 on Sundays for retail. Then they have senior hours from 8 to 10, 2 days per week, established for people 60 and older. You want me to just give you this?
No thanks.
Okay.
so Bob, should we be answering this tonight or?
You can issue it tonight, you can vote to approve it.
Are there anyone from the public have anything?
Does anyone from the public have anything? Anyone in the audience? There isn't anyone.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I feel comfortable with this is that we went over this the last two. We were pretty extensive. We spent a lot of time in this. You guys spent a lot of time, effort, and money in this. I think we pretty much satisfied everyone's concerns and questions. The only changes are cosmetic, actually.
This is the 14th hearing for these folks.
See what I mean?
There shouldn't be anything new to say.
I think the phobia of this industry is kind of diminished quite a bit. You know, the hysteria of there being a million people pounding on the front door, and porta potties and everything else. I think that's all gone now, and we're back down to a normal course of business.
Yeah.
Mitch, do we have that decision or no?
I saved the Word doc
Oh,
to their
okay.
file.
Andrew, Andrew's got it up.
No, that's the South Shore Buds one.
Oh,
That has their,
South Shore Buds one that just happened.
do we have the original decision for
there should
Help.
be a Word doc.
Health Circle?
You want the conditions?
Yeah. So Bob, are you saying that we can do the same thing and just, we
You can
can,
incorporate the findings of the original decision, and
okay,
you can,
add new
just change the original decision to reflect the updated plans, updated hours, new entrance. I mean, the circumstance was their special permit expired, they didn't extend it, so, there wasn't any appeal of the original permit. They didn't get started on construction as quickly as they wanted to. And, it's perfectly okay with me if you incorporate your findings of your earlier decision and just note the changes.
so we would just say we're gonna incorporate the findings from this decision and add the changes are as follows from the new piece
Yeah, well,
here?
what you want to do is move to grant the special permit,
Okay,
subject to conditions, consistent with the previous Health Circle decision, case 19-55, incorporating those findings and those conditions, and then note the differences.
all right. How are you feeling about saying that?
Just second my motion.
I second Bob's motion. Well, do I have to close the meeting first, I guess?
Yes, yeah, you do.
So I'm closing Health Circle. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye?
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Now, Bob, I'm going to second what you said, and then we're going to add the changes that are as follows. Andrew, do we have that piece up there, too? We're going to, the letter from VGR.
Right here.
All right, so the changes are as follows, so we'll incorporate that as well. Do we agree to those, A, B, and C?
A, B, and C? I do?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Grover?
So I move we grant the special permit.
Second? All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye?
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Is that it, Bob?
Yes?
All right. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get this thing open.
Val, you were brilliant.
In charge
So
of
do we
my
have-
work.
Do we have anything else?
Minutes. Approval of 3 minutes.
Oh, minutes? Larry, you have minutes to approve?
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good luck.
All approved.
All approved?
Second. All in favor, aye? Move to adjourn?
Aye. We approved the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Grover, you and I for the minutes?
Aye.
And now we're moving to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Sullivan, aye?
Brian Murphy, aye.
Jean Lee, aye.
Thank you.
Great job. Brian.
Thank you, everybody.